Hi guys, I'm Pushp Sirohi and back with the final lecture on Raja Yoga in brief. Let's enjoy. So the following is a summary of Raja Yoga, freely translated from the Kurma Puran. So the fire of yoga burns the cage of sin that is around a man. Knowledge becomes purified and nirvana is directly obtained from yoga comes knowledge. Knowledge again helps the yogi. He who combines in himself both yoga and knowledge, with him the Lord is pleased. Those that practice Mahayoga either once a day or twice a day or thrice or always know them to be gods. Yoga is divided into two parts. One is called Abhava and the other Mahayoga, where one self is meditated upon as zero and bereft of quality, that is called Abhava. That is which one sees the self as full of bliss and barren of all impurities. And one with God is called Mahayoga, the yogi. By the each one realizes his self. The other yogas that we read and hear of do not deserve to be ranked with the excellent Mahayoga in which the yogi finds himself and the whole universe as God. This is the highest of all yogas. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi are the step in Raja Yoga, of which non injury, truthfulness, non covetousness, chastity, not receiving any form, another are called Yama. This purifies the mind, the Chitta, never producing pain by thought, word, and deed in any living being is what is called ahimsa, non injury. There is no virtue higher than non injury. There is no happiness higher than what a man obtains by this attitude of non offensiveness to all creation. By truth, we attain fruits of work. Through truth, everything is attained. In truth, everything is established, relating facts as they are. This is truth, not taking others' goods by stealing or by force, is called astya, non-covetousness. Chastity is thought, word, and deed always and in all conditions is what is called brahmacharya, not receiving any present from anybody, even when one is suffering terribly. Is what is called aparigraha. The idea is when a man receives a gift from another, his heart becomes impure, he becomes low, he loses his independence, he becomes bound and attached. The following are helps to success in yoga are called niyama or regular habits and observance. Tapas austerity, swadhyaya study, santosha contentment, Saucha purity, Ishvara Parimadhyana, worshipping God, fasting or in other ways controlling the body is called physical tapas. Repeating the Vedas and other mantras by which the sattva material in the body is purified is called study, swadhyaya. There are three sorts of repetitions of these mantra. One is called the verbal, another semi-verbal, and the third mental. The verbal or audible is the lowest, and the inaudible is the highest of all. The repetitions which is loud is the verbal. The next one is where only the lips moves but no sound is heard. The inaudible repetitions of the mantra accompanied with the thinking of its meaning is called the mental repetitions and is the highest. The sages have said that there are two sorts of purifications, external and internal. The purifications of the body by water, earth, or other materials is the external purifications as bathing, etc. Purifications of mind by truth and by all the virtues is what is called internal purifications. Both are necessary. It is not sufficient that the man should be internally pure and externally dirty. When both are not attainable, the internal purity is the better. But no one will be a yogi until he has both. Worship of God is by praise, by thought, by devotion. We have spoken about yama and niyama. The next is asana. The only thing to understand about it is leaving the body free, holding the chest, shoulders, and head straight. Then comes pranayama. Prana means the vital force is one's own body. Ayams mean controlling them. There are three sorts of pranayam. The very simple, the middle, and the very high. Pranayam is divided into three parts: filling, restraining, and emptying. When you begin with 12 seconds, it is the lowest pranayam. With you being with 24 seconds, it is the middle pranayam. That pranayam is the best, which begins with 36 seconds, and the lowest kind of pranayam there is perspiration. In the medium kind, quivering of a body, and in the highest pranayam, levitating of the body, an influx of great bliss. There is a mantra called the Gayatri. It is a very holy verse of the Vedas. We meditate on the glory of that being who has produced this universe. May he enlighten our mind. Om is joined to it at the beginning and at the end. In the one, pranayam repeats three Gayatris. In all books, they speak of pranayam being divided into rechakas, rejecting or exhaling, puraka, inhaling, and krunbhaka, restraining, stationary. The indriyas, the organ of the senses, are acting outward and coming in contact with external objects. Bringing them under the control of the will is what is called pratyahara, or gathering toward oneself. Fixing the mind on the lotus of the heart or on the center of the head is what is called dharana. Limited to one spot, making that spot the base, a particular kind of mental waves rises. These are not swallowed up by other kind of waves, but by degrees become prominent, while all the others recedes and finally disappear. Next, the multiplicity of these waves give place to unity, and one wave only is left in the mind. This is dhyana, meditation, when no basis is necessary, when the whole of the mind has become one wave, one formedness. It is called samadhi. Buried of all help from places and centers, only the meaning of the thoughts is present. If the mind can be fixed on the center of 12 seconds, it will be a dharma. 12 such dharnas will be a dhyana, and 12 such dhyanas will be a samadhi. Where there is a fire or in the water or on ground, which is true with the dry leaves, where there are many ant hills and where there are wild animals or dangers, where four street meets, where three is too much noise, where there are many big persons, yoga must not be practiced. This applies more particularly to India. Do not practice when the body feel very lazy or ill, or when the mind is very miserable or sorrowful. Go to a place which is well hidden and where people do not come to disturb you. Do not choose dirty places. Rather choose beautiful scenery or a room in your own house which is beautiful. When you practice, first salute all the ancient yogis and your own guru and God, and then begin. Dhyana is spoken of, and a few examples are given of what to meditate upon. Sit straight and look at the tip of your nose. Later on, we shall come to know how that concentrate the mind. How by controlling the two optic nerves, one advance and long way towards the control of the arc of reaction, and so to the control of the will. Here are a few specimens of meditation. Imagine a lotus upon the top of the head, several inches up, even virtue as its center and knowledge as its stalk. The eight petals of the lotus are the high eight powers of the yogis. Inside the stamina, stems and pistils are reunifications. If the yogi refuse the external powers, he'll come to salvation, so that the eight petals of the lotus are the eight powers. But the internal stamens and pistils are extreme reunifications. The reunification of all these powers inside of that lotus things of the Golden One, the Almighty, the intangible, the He whose name is Om, the inexpressible, surrounded with effulgent light. Meditate on that. Another meditation is given. Think of a space in your heart, and in the midst of this space, think that a flame is burning. Think of that flame as your own soul, and inside the flame is another effulgent light. And that is the soul of your soul, God. Meditate upon that in the heart. Chastity, non injury, forgiving, even the greatest enemy, truth, faith in the Lord. These are all different virtues. Be not afraid if you are not perfect in all of these. Work, they will come. He who has given up all attachment, all fear, and all anger. He whose whole soul has gone unto the Lord. He who has taken refuge in the Lord, whose heart has become purified. With whatsoever desire he comes to the Lord, he will grant that to him. Therefore, worship him through knowledge, love, or reunification. He who hates none, who is the friend of all, who is merciful to all, who has nothing of his own, who is free from egoism, who is even minded in pain and pleasure, who is forbearing, who is always satisfied, who works always in yoga, whose self has become controlled, whose will is firm, whose mind and intellect are giving upon. Unto him, me, such a one is my beloved Bhakta, from whom comes no disturbance, who cannot be disturbed by others, who is free from joy, anger, fear, and anxiety. Such an one is my beloved. He who does not depend on anything, who is pure and active, who does not care whether good comes or evil, and never become miserable, who has given up all efforts for himself, who is the same in praise or in blame, with a silent, thoughtful mind, blessed with what little comes in his way, homeless, for the whole world is his home, and who is steady in his ideas. Such a one is my beloved Bhakta, such alone become yogis. Thank you guys. Hope you like all the knowledge related with the Raj Yoga. Thank you. Have a nice day, and we'll meet again with ancient artifacts.